Hi, it's Marty Pearson and Sue Painter, and we're back with the new year for our online business reality show, Marty and Sue's Peep Show, where we pull back the curtains on our businesses and lives and give you kind of a peek behind the scenes. So today we're going to be talking about personal relationships and how they affect your mood and your business, and why travel is great for your business, and some New Year's resolutions. Yes or no, do you do them? And maybe we'll get into some trends that we're seeing. So Sue, did you want to start it off on the personal relationship thing?
I think you should start it off on the personal relationship thing. I was thinking though about first of all, if people don't know, hi everybody, Happy New Year. We're so glad to be back for the new year for the Peep Show. Over Christmas, over the week of Christmas, I traveled out of the country for a week with some really good friends of ours. In fact, the guy has been one of my best friends since 8th grade. And we have stayed good friends all these years. I've been very, very close friends. But because of the press of business, his business and my business, we haven't, and we live, of course, in different states, we haven't seen much of each other over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. And we decided that he and his partner and Bill and I were going to go off together for a week out of the country, take a cruise over Christmas, and we did that. And I was just noticing, I always learn something when I travel, Marnie. You know, I just always do. But I was noticing how bolstered you can feel when you have a really great relationship that just boosts you and that makes you laugh, and that, you know, just it's somebody who knows you that well and who can sit and talk with you about your personal life or about your business life. And he's an entrepreneur, just like me. He owns his own business. He's a very successful realtor and has had other businesses as well. So he gets it about what it is to own your own business and bring your own income in the door and what it means to push when you're really reaching for a goal. So to have that reconnection with him was really great for me, and all 4 of us enjoyed that week tremendously. So I was just thinking about how when you have a relationship that feels sour in your life, it does kind of affect your business. And when you have a relationship that has been, that's either a new one or that is a reconnected or rekindled relationship, how good it can feel.
Yeah.
And with that, I will pass it off to you, Marnie.
Sue's trying to let me let cats out of the bag that I may or may not be ready to let out of the bag.
You can talk in general about.
Yeah. I will attest to the fact that sour relationships do strain your business. They strain your energy in your life, and they can really make your well go dry. And then ones that are positive and connected really do fuel you. They make you happier, and I think when you're happier, you project that out to other people, and people want to be around happy people. They want to be around people who make them feel good. So I think, like when I teach people priorities, I think the number 1 priority really should be your own self-care, and then your connection to the divine, however you see that, because those fuel your ability to go forward and serve the way you're here. But I think a good personal relationship, like a spouse or partner relationship, comes next, because it fuels into the work that you do, and then your work fuels your ability to pursue your hobbies and your interests and things, and serve the other people in your life, your other family and friends and things. So I think a good personal relationship is foundational to being able to be successful in your business. And it is fun when you find somebody you can connect with on a bunch of levels, and they can talk with you about any subject or whatever. So that's really fun.
Yeah, it is really fun, and that's, you know, I mean, I have that with many different friends, but when somebody goes way back with you, then it's really great because they just know your history so well, and so it was really fun to do that over Christmas and just have that relationship kind of boost me up a little bit. One of you mentioned about putting yourself first, and you know, Paul Evans, is, a lot of people know, I coach with him, have for several years now, and I really admire his outlook on things. He sent us all a little message this morning, those of us who are in his upper level coaching programs, and said, don't give yourself the leftovers of your business or the leftovers of your life. Put yourself first. And he was really talking about managing your time, like make what you want to create in your business a priority. Don't give yourself the leftovers after you've served everybody else, and then you're just getting an odd 10 or 15 minutes here or there, but you're not really able to give yourself, focused, intentional time to create what you want to create. And I do see a lot of people do that when they get too busy in their business. They haven't put business systems in place, and they haven't started delegating more off their plate. So pretty soon they're servicing, which is great to do, and you want to always do a fabulous job with that. But you've also got to have, you need to give yourself not the leftovers, but really the prime pieces of your energy, because that's what fuels your business and keeps it going. So I thought that was a cool quote for him, and it just seemed to fit with Marnie with what you just said. So yeah.
A lot of people don't agree when I say that. So they think, well, no, you got to put others first. But if you're not fueling yourself, you don't have anything to bring to another relationship. Right. And
I know. I think women are worse at that than men, frankly. I used to see that all the time when I owned the massage therapy clinic. I often would treat couples, and the wife would call and say, oh, I shouldn't come in because it's, the start of school, and Johnny needs new shoes, and they're a $300 pair of soccer shoes, and I just don't have the money. Well, 15 minutes later, it would be the time for the guy to come in for his massage, and he would walk right in the door and flop himself on the massage table and say, oh my gosh, do I need this? It's the first of school, and I've just had to spend $400 on Johnny's pair of shoes, and I really need to relax and take care of myself. So that difference in perspective between the man and the woman in the same couple, I saw that over and over and over again in the years that I owned that clinic. And it was really telling to me, that you have to take care of yourself, or you're not going to be able to offer the care and the love and the attention and the customer service that you want to offer other people as well. So, yeah. So what do you have on your plate for the new year business-wise, Marnie?
Business-wise.
When I go off and travel, I always come home and want to change everything around. So I just wondered what you were like. What's your vibe for the new year? What do you think you're going to be pushing and working on, or what do you want to change business-wise?
I've got a couple things right now helping people with their New Year's goals and things. So like my momentum circle is starting next week to help you go your goals. I've got how to create your amazing bodies for those. I noticed when I went to the gym, it was packed in January.
Okay.
It's really
of
good.
Course. Yeah.
It'll be packed for about a month, and then everybody will fizzle out. So just some things around keeping your energy up, because really to achieve your goals, and even in your business, you've got to have, your body needs the energy that it needs. So I've got a class coming up on that next week. And then February, I'm going to go out to Utah and do some one-on-one consults with people. So if they want me to like sit down with them and look at their materials, maybe they got a book they're working on, or a product or a program, and they just want me to help them outline, or look at what they've got and see what they can turn that into. I'm scheduling like one-on-one consults, and then in March I hope to go back out and do a training on the product creation in a live setting out there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a virtual one too in March. So
yeah. Are you going to start going to Utah so much that you need a second home out there? I've got 2 homes. You might end up with 2 homes.
I don't know.
I mean, you do like it out there, and you have a lot of friends out there. Right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I usually have somewhere to stay. I don't have a shortage of anywhere to stay when I go to Utah. So.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah. Whoops, wait a minute. Somebody is, let me make that quit ringing. Sorry about that. I feel a lot of shifts going on for business owners, for small business owners this year too. And some of them I think are really profound in the ways that we're going to be changing and doing our businesses, and some of them are just more personal to me. As I said before, I traveled while we were away for our holiday break, Marnie and I, and whenever I travel, it always changes me, especially if I go out of the country, but even if I don't. And so I wrote up on Facebook the other day a couple of things that came to me as I was traveling. And, you know, part of it is really that I really, really love what I do. I mean, it makes me almost emotional to say that. I love sitting and talking with people about how they can build their businesses and what it is that they need to tweak in order to make it more profitable for them and in order to bring more clients in the door. And, you know, how they market, how they brand themselves, what is the essence of their business really? Because what I find so often is when businesses aren't successful, they're not yet specifically micro-niched enough. They're not specifically calling to their people. And so, therefore, it's really difficult to, it's really difficult to bring clients in the door. And I love that. I love what I do. In fact, when I was on Christmas Day, we were in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I ended up sitting on a tour bus with this lady who owned the tour bus and was taking us around San Juan because other people were going off to see the fort, and it had a lot of steps, and I couldn't do that. So I stayed on the bus and just chatted with her. She owned her own bus and was trying to build up a fleet of buses, and we ended up, while we waited for that 15 or 20 minutes, talking business, and I sat there on the bus and gave her ideas about how she could start teaching other people how to develop successful tour guide companies like she had. She was obviously a go-getter and an entrepreneur and had worked really hard all her life, but she needed another income stream because she was getting older and it was kind of getting harder to handle the fleet of buses. And so I ended up doing this little tiny business consultation in San Juan on Christmas Day when I was on the bus with her, and I've heard from her since then, and it was just fun for me to do. I mean, I truly love what I do, and I'm generous with my time, but I have realized that I also probably need to, it's time for me to raise my prices. I haven't done that in 3 or 4 years, and so it's time for me to do that a little bit. And I also really love doing small groups of people. So last Saturday in Nashville, I had 4 people come in. There was one person from Nashville. Everybody else came from out of town. And we sat around the table in my home in Nashville and talked all day long about what they could do for their businesses in 2015. And we just all enjoyed it. They had a great day. They learned a lot. 3 of the 4 asked me if I would repeat it in June in Nashville because they like to come back. And then tomorrow I'm doing the business intensive day here in my Florida home because I'm back in Florida now. Thank God, because it's cold in Nashville today.
Sure is.
And I just love that kind of small group, day-long mastermind. And so I think I'm going to be doing more of those in 2015. It's just a way that I enjoy working and I feel like I'm effective and good at it. I will still continue to do the one-on-one as well, but I really like that group process because they learn from each other and they got ideas from each other as well as from me, so it was cool. I had fun doing it. Now, I want to say a little bit about that because I had 8 seats total. I had 4 seats in Nashville and I had 4 seats in Florida. In Nashville, I sold out all 4 seats, and tomorrow here in Florida, I sold 3 of the 4 seats. I have 1 seat remaining. And somebody said to me the other day, well, I guess you won't do this again because it failed. And we might have talked about that a few weeks ago when we did our last peep show. Maybe we did. Yeah. But it startled me so much. And then yet some of my other friends are like, you've tried this for the first time, and this is a rousing success because out of 8 seats you sold 7.
Yeah, it's
I look at it as a success. I'm still miffed. I'm like, well, you know, I'd really like to have that 4th person here in Florida. But that doesn't mean I would never try it again. So to me, it was just, it's the importance of mindset. You know, Paul Evans or my other friend, Joy Chudikoff, would say to me, oh, this is a rousing success for the first time out of the box. You sold every seat but 1. And I imagine you would too, Marty, as well. But then I had other people say, well, I guess you won't do it again because you weren't successful. That's weird to me. So mindset, you know, mindset is everything.
Yeah.
So. But, you know, just, I don't know, there's all kinds of realization. You know, the world really needs small business owners. And we are the strength of the world economy, and we're the ones that change things. So I'm all about helping people figure out how they can create income. And a lot of people just need another $500,000, $1,000 a month to help them along the way. Maybe they have a job, but they want to create something on the side. And, you know, that's entirely doable, too. I think maybe more entrepreneurs are going to look at it as something that is a supplemental, additional income stream until such time as they can let go of their bigger job, which is something I've always espoused anyway. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So you touched on the travel. New Year's resolutions, do you do them?
I don't. I do them sort of. I hedge my bets. I do. I mean, I say to myself, I would like to create. And what I really do, they're not New Year's resolutions. They're New Year's vision boards. I'm a big believer in vision boards and envisioning what you want to create. And I actually put on Facebook, and I was hoping that Bill was listening. He just walked in the door over here, so maybe he'll hear this. I did decide while I was on the boat that I want a new car this year. So, and he, I know, will say, oh my gosh, because we actually leave my car in Florida year round because we don't need it when we're in Nashville. But I'm kind of ready for new wheels. But I do envision things that I want. So, right now Bill and I are looking for a new place to live in Florida. We sold our old place and we're leasing a home for a year, and now we're looking for a new place to buy. So I'm kind of envisioning that. And I'm also envisioning working more with groups of people and also speaking more. So I do vision boards, and in a way, to me, that feels like a resolution, but it's not like, I will get up at 9 o'clock. It's not like those kinds of resolutions. How about you? Do you do resolutions?
I don't do resolutions so much as I do themes. So I set a theme for the year.
Okay.
This year's freedom.
Freedom?
Yep, that's my theme.
That's freedom?
So
okay.
I anticipate I'll be doing a lot more traveling, a lot more speaking, just more freedom of movement, freedom to be me, expressing myself more, financial freedom. So it's all, that's my word. So that's the way I do it.
It's interesting you say that, because one of the things that I was writing the other day about the things that I came home with after this trip was that, I've really been hitting it hard the last 2 or 3 years between working for Allie part-time and working my own business, The Confident Marketer, part-time, and then working on my leg almost daily for 2.5 years now, almost daily. I'm tired, and we really had not been able to go off on a vacation where I was like at sea and I really had to unplug from the internet. It's been 4 years. I've done trips, but they've all been for business. So I'm kind of with you. My word for the year is peacefulness. But in peacefulness, I find freedom, and I feel like within business and in the world writ large, there's just more and more and more kind of fraught energy and kind of hyper anger. And so to me, it's really important to try to be a model for peace and consciousness and consideration of others, and do that in my business and in my personal life. And through that peacefulness, it frees my heart and it frees my mind to do my best work. So peacefulness and freedom to me are real linked. They're just like this. You can't have one without the other. But I'm with you. I want to travel a lot more this year. I know that I can only do part of what I used to do when I travel, no climbing of mountains like I used to do. But I still want to get out and see some places that, are still on our bucket list to see. So I think we're going to do a couple of trips this year, and I really am going to unplug for a week or two at a time. It really is. It's great for the mindset and for the mental capacity.
Yeah. I always love just getting on a plane and flying, because it seems like it gives me an aerial view of my life. Yeah. While you're flying, I don't know, I sort of step back and go into this, okay, what's my life like? What do I want to do? And it's a different perspective.
Yeah. I think about the slower pace of things. When you're on a ship, things slow down, because if you have a day at sea, then you've just got all the deep blue sea around you, and it's peaceful, and you can sit out on the deck and watch the ocean go by. You really can't connect to the internet, and people are having conversations, or they're playing cards, or they're reading, or they're listening to music, or whatever they're doing. And I kind of got into this head of, this is what life was like in the late 1900s or the late 1800s and early 1900s, when people went off on ships and did like their grand tour of the continent. And they took 3 or 4 months to do that, and it educated them. That's why they did it. It rounded them off and finished them as an individual who had a broad view of the world. And So being on a ship kind of reminded me of that. And then the other night, Downton Abbey started back up. I don't know if you watched Downton Abbey, but then I thought about, oh, you know, the pace of life was slower then because communication wasn't as instantaneous. So I don't know, that slowness and peacefulness, within that sometimes there is freedom because you don't feel so frantic and like you have to do all the time. And I think you can't keep that up. You burn out. In fact, that was one of the themes in Nashville on Saturday. As your business grows, if you keep trying to do all of it, then you just burn out because you're like a gerbil on a wheel. You've created a job for yourself instead of a lifestyle business.
So I've missed one Downton Abbey that I need to catch up.
Yeah. Oh, it started on Sunday. Oh, and it was funny because it rained and poured all day Sunday, and Bill and I were driving from Nashville to here, and we were like, we have to keep going. We passed Ringgold. I waved to you, but it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't figure you wanted me knocking on your door, even though I'd be delighted to see you. But we kept like, we have to get there, because Downton Abbey is going to start, and we didn't want to miss it. So we were making a beeline back to our home in Florida. So what trends do you see for the year? We've got a couple more minutes. Do you see things like how things are shifting or differences in how people are making offers or just anything like that that you see coming down the road for 2015?
Well, I think you mentioned it, and we may have mentioned it before. I do think Facebook is changing, probably. It probably won't be as good of a tool for businesses, I don't suspect. So for me, that's kind of a pill because I get a lot of my clients through Facebook, or I have in the last couple of years. So kind of scrambling around for different ways to reach your audiences, I think. Maybe somebody will invent something that will come in and make, fill that gap. I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, I mean, you still have great ability to segment your market through Facebook advertising, but as far as organic reach, neither you or I are going to get it, and in fact, we haven't been getting it. We've seen it narrow down, and I know you and I have talked about that before. I have seen a mad rush to doing more business on Pinterest and on Instagram, and I think both of those are the coming thing. In fact, I've seen people put on Instagram a picture and then a whole blog post in the comment underneath it, and then link back to their website, just as I would do on Facebook, So I've been watching that. I don't pretend to be an Instagram expert by any means, nor do I have a following there, but I see people looking for other alternatives. And I also do think that video is going to continue to be strong. And that's great because we have the Peep Show, so that's one piece of video that we can take and use for ourselves. But I think people are responding to video, and I have noticed that if you post video directly on Facebook, you do get a little bit more organic reach. Now, that may quit after the 15th when they don't want links, promotional links, but on the other hand, if they don't think that it's promotional and you're just offering content the way you and I are offering content right now, maybe they won't squeeze it down as much. So I think video is a coming thing, or it has been, but I think it's beginning to be even more important. Yeah.
I've been playing around on Facebook with just posting something like, hey, I'm going to be in Salt Lake in February. If you want to sit down and talk with me about your project while you're there, private message me. And don't put a link at all. And I'm getting people who will private message me about that. So that might be a workaround for the Facebook thing where they don't want the links out.
Right. And another workaround, another trend I'm seeing on Facebook that I've had several friends say they're doing this now. I have not done it, but I might. Is they know that Facebook biz pages are going to be really, squeezed down unless you're willing to pay money for traffic. And so they're moving people from their Facebook business page into a private Facebook forum where they don't, squeeze down, everybody sees everything that's in the forum. And I've thought about doing that. I think that's kind of a smart idea, actually. So, and they're, it's still free. A couple of people are paying for that. Oh, and the other trend that I see, and Marnie, you'll have to see what you think of this. I've had 3 or 4 people talk to me about the trend of rather than getting a whole bunch of people on your list who want everything for free and will never buy from you, charging something to be on your list, and doing that through offering a very small, like a $5 or $7 product. They have to buy the product and then they get on your list. So that's like a new idea that I am hearing. I'm starting to hear more and more talk about that.
Huh.
I don't know what you think about that, and I'm not sure what I think about it either, but I do see it as a coming trend.
Yeah, I think it would be a better list for sure.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of that with the Crazy Christmas Challenge because I had some like $9 things, and you know, and I had quite a few people buying that stuff that way.
Yeah.
At least I know of their buyers. And then I built that Facebook group out of the Create Your Amazing Life.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple hundred people in that group, I think. And you're right, they see more of your stuff when you post in those than a Facebook page, I think. So.
Yeah. Right. That's cool. So your Crazy Christmas thing went well for you? I meant to ask you about that.
Yeah, it went pretty well. Yeah.
Good. That's awesome. You're a good user of Facebook. You're better at it than I am, really. But, I mean, I think both of those ideas are very cool ideas. So you could put those in your stable and teach them to other people and use them, rinse and repeat, use them over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you have, I guess, at least with the Facebook thing. That was, I mean, the Christmas thing. You did that last year and then repeated, did some, you know, did new ones for this year. So, you know what, I don't know if we said we were going to plan ahead, but I don't think we actually did. So what we'll do when we are not live anymore is we'll look at our calendars and find the times for the Peep Show for the rest of January. One thing I am seeing and I have had requests for is creating a calendar that is further out in advance so that people can put things on their calendar and want to attend, especially because the Peep Show is at a different day and a different time every week, depending on our schedules. So maybe we'll look at that and we'll email those of you who are on the Peep Show list about when those are. If you do not want, if you are not on our list so that you don't get the replays, you want to go to confidentmarketer.com/Peep Show, and you can give us your name and your email address, and we will send you all the replays of the Peep Shows as well as when information and reminders about when the next one's going to be every week. Like I sent out a reminder an hour or two ago for today's show. So get on the list if you want to, you know, keep up with us and be able to join us live, ask your questions, make comments. You can put something in the group chat, ask us a question if you want to. Anything else, Marnie, before we say goodbye? It's good to see you. I feel weird because we hadn't done the Peep Show in almost 3 weeks. Seems like forever since I've seen you.
I know. It's good to see you again, too. You're looking good. I'm going to just refresh the page and see.
Okay.
Joanne Musa commented that she's done that. She changed her free entry-level program to get people to opt in to her list for a $7 product.
Ah. And how did that work for her? Did she say?
She didn't say. I know she's still in the process of promoting that. She's in one of my momentum circles, so she started doing that.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, there you go. Somebody's tried it, and good for you. Good for you for trying it and seeing how it works. And that's the whole thing. Business is just an experiment. I mean, you try something and see how it works, and if it does work, you keep doing it if you enjoy it and if it's good customer service for your folks. And if it doesn't work, you reframe it and try it again. So good for you for trying it. She gets the gold star for the day for showing up and for trying something new, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Well, I guess we will see you guys next week, and we'll send the schedule out in the email. Right, Marnie?
Yeah.
Okay. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Marnie.
Here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.